Illuminati. The Illuminati, one of the most famous secret societies, was established in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. Originating in Bavaria, the group was initially formed with the intention to propagate Enlightenment ideals, emphasizing reason, secularism, and rationalism. Weishaupt, a professor, was disillusioned with the excess power of the church and state, prompting him to create a platform for free thought and liberal education among Europe's elite. Weishaupt adopted structures similar to those used in Freemasonry, incorporating complex rituals and a hierarchical system within the group to maintain order and secrecy. The Illuminati's goals were to promote science and knowledge, push for secular values, and encourage enlightened self-expression and personal freedom. They sought to influence political systems discreetly but were quickly demonized by conservative and religious institutions. The society's existence was severe but brief, as widespread fear and political pressure led to its disbandment by the Bavarian government in 1785. Despite its short life, the Illuminati has been engulfed by myths and conspiracy theories suggesting they continue to operate in the shadows, manipulating global events to establish a new world order. Today, the Illuminati is a staple of conspiracy theories and a symbol of supposed hidden global leadership. This narrative has been popularized by books, movies, and various media, often depicting the Illuminati as a malevolent force controlling world affairs, a far cry from its original Enlightenment-based ideals. The enduring fascination with the Illuminati highlights a broader human tendency to find comfort in explanatory narratives for complex world events, especially those narratives that involve shadowy, omnipotent entities pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. Priory of Sion. The Priory of Sion is a name that conjures up images of deep historical mysteries and secret treasures, largely thanks to its portrayal in popular culture, notably in Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. However, the reality behind the Priory of Sion is both more mundane and more complex than fiction suggests. Established in 1956 in France by Pierre Plantard, the Priory of Sion was initially a rather unremarkable association, focusing on local advocacy for affordable housing. However, Plantard's ambitions and flair for the dramatic transformed the group's image into that of a millennia-old secret society. Through a series of forged documents, known as the Dossier Secrets, Plantard linked the Priory to historical figures like Leonardo da Vinci and suggested it had a mission to restore the Merovingian dynasty to the French throne. These documents were placed in the French National Library, where they were meant to be discovered and lend credence to Plantard's revised history. The Dossier Secrets claimed the Priory of Sion was a guardian of profound and sacred secrets, including the bloodline of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, and the true nature of the Holy Grail. The Priory of Sion's supposed secrets and historical depth were nothing more than a modern fabrication, an elaborate hoax that captured the public imagination, especially after being taken up by authors in the 1980s. This led to widespread speculation and conspiracy theories that continue to resonate today. Critically, the Priory of Sion highlights how modern myths can be constructed and how they can evolve into widely believed stories that blur the lines between history and fiction. It serves as a case study in the power of narrative and the human fascination with hidden knowledge and ancient secrets. Despite its fictional foundations, the Priory of Sion has had a lasting impact on popular culture and conspiracy theories, illustrating how a modern myth can be as influential and persistent as those originating in deep antiquity. Freemasons. The Freemasons are perhaps one of the oldest and most widely recognized fraternal organizations in the world. Originating from the local stonemasons' guilds during the late medieval period, Freemasonry has evolved over centuries into a complex and layered society with its own rituals, symbols, and philosophies. Freemasonry's foundational principles are built on the ideals of brotherhood, equality, and moral uprightness. Its members, known as Masons, are taught moral lessons and self-knowledge through participation in a progression of symbolic rituals, which are based on the tools and practices of the stonemasonry craft. One of the most intriguing aspects of Freemasonry is its secrecy and the mystery surrounding its rituals, which has led to numerous conspiracy theories and speculations about its influence. Despite these theories, most Masonic activities are focused on community service, moral development, and social engagement. The structure of Freemasonry is divided into various degrees and orders, the most common being the Blue Lodge, which consists of 3 degrees: Entered Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. Beyond this, there are additional degrees offered in appendant bodies of Freemasonry like the Scottish Rite and York Rite. Freemasonry's influence has been significant in the historical and cultural development of many countries. Many influential figures in Western history were Freemasons, including a number of American presidents and European monarchs. This connection has often been cited as evidence of Freemasonry's potential political influence, though this is generally overstated by conspiracy theorists. Today, Freemasonry is recognized not only for its secretive and ceremonial nature but also for its role in community development and charitable activities. It remains a subject of fascination and intrigue due to its rich history, complex ceremonies, and the notable figures who have been associated with the organization. Thule Society. The Thule Society was a secretive group formed in Germany just after World War I, primarily known for its significant role in the early growth of Nazi ideologies. Named after a mythical northern country in Greek legend, the society combined Germanic folklore, occult beliefs, and racial theories to forge a narrative of Aryan supremacy and nationalistic pride. Members of the Thule Society were deeply involved in the esoteric and mystical, believing in the power of the occult to influence the course of history. The society used swastikas, runic symbols, and conducted rituals intended to invoke ancient Germanic gods, aligning these practices with their political ambitions. A critical aspect of the Thule Society's activities was its influence on key figures in the early Nazi Party, including Rudolf Hess and Dietrich Eckart, who were both reputed members. Eckart, in particular, is often credited with shaping Adolf Hitler's ideologies. The Society's meetings became a breeding ground for political plans that would later be central to Nazi philosophy. The Thule Society's contribution to the early Nazi movement was not just ideological. It actively participated in anti-communist actions and paramilitary operations during the chaotic post-war years, using its influence to push Germany towards the far right. While the Thule Society itself did not survive long into the Nazi regime, disbanding in the late 1920s, its ideological imprint on the Nazi Party was profound. The melding of occult practices with fierce nationalism and racial purity theories helped cement the uniquely mystic and terrifying ethos of the Nazi worldview. Today, the Thule Society is remembered as a dark precursor to one of history's most infamous regimes, illustrating how mystical and esoteric groups can sometimes transition into profoundly impactful political movements. Rosicrucians. The Rosicrucians are part of an esoteric philosophical secret society, said to have been founded in the early 17th century, though some claim its origins date back to ancient Egypt. The society is named after its symbol, the Rose Cross or Rosy Cross. This group is known for its combination of mystical philosophy, alchemy, and spiritual transformation, focusing on deeper spiritual insights and universal truths. Rosicrucian teachings are centered on the idea of an unseen, misunderstood world that can be accessed through esoteric knowledge and practices. They believe in the ability of individuals to achieve enlightenment and self-mastery through rituals, meditation, and study, which purportedly can lead to insights into the nature of the universe and the spiritual laws that govern it. The influence of the Rosicrucians has been felt in various cultural and historical contexts, particularly during the Renaissance and Enlightenment periods when interest in alchemy, the Kabbalah, and Gnosticism was at its peak. They contributed to the intellectual and spiritual discourse of the time, with alleged members such as Francis Bacon often linked to the movement through both direct and circumstantial evidence. The Rosicrucians are also known for their commitment to secrecy and the mystery that surrounds their membership and practices. This has led to numerous speculations and legends, including claims of hidden knowledge and secret political influence. Despite these claims, much of what is known about the Rosicrucians comes from manifestos published in the 17th century, which announced their existence and called for a universal reformation of mankind. Today, various modern organizations claim lineage from the original Rosicrucians, each interpreting the core principles in slightly different ways but maintaining the focus on spiritual wisdom and personal growth. These groups often engage in educational and philosophical activities aimed at promoting peace, understanding, and spiritual enlightenment. Golden Dawn. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a British occult society that emerged in the late 19th century, becoming one of the most influential esoteric orders in the Western mystery tradition. Founded in 1887 by William Robert Woodman, William Wynne Westcott, and Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers, the society drew heavily on Hermetic Kabbalah, astrology, tarot, and alchemy. The primary goal of the Golden Dawn was to allow its members to achieve personal spiritual development and enlightenment. This was pursued through the study and practice of the occult sciences, structured in an elaborate system of grades and initiatory rituals, which were based on an intricate synthesis of various mystical, philosophical, and religious systems. The Golden Dawn's teachings and practices have had a significant and lasting impact on Western esoteric thought. Notable members such as Aleister Crowley, who later founded his own occult practice, were deeply influenced by their time in the order. The society's blend of mystical rituals, magic, and a structured curriculum of esoteric knowledge attracted many intellectuals and artists of the era. Despite its initial secrecy, the Golden Dawn was plagued by internal conflicts and public scandals, which eventually led to its fragmentation into various offshoots in the early 20th century. However, its core teachings and ritual practices have been preserved and are still practiced by modern groups inspired by the original order. The Golden Dawn remains a key subject of study for those interested in the history of the occult in Europe, representing a peak in the public's interest in occult matters during the Victorian period. Its legacy influences contemporary New Age and magical movements, demonstrating the lasting appeal of the esoteric tradition. Solar Temple. The Order of the Solar Temple is one of the more recent and tragic examples of a secret society, known predominantly for the mass suicides and murders that occurred within its ranks in the 1990s. Founded in the 1980s by Luke Jurett and Joseph D. Mambro, the group's beliefs combined elements of Christianity, New Age philosophy, and apocalyptic prophecy. The doctrine of the Solar Temple included the idea that the world was about to undergo a catastrophic transformation, and that the members of the order would ascend to a higher spiritual plane. This belief was rooted in a mix of Knights Templar mythology, Rosicrucian principles, and environmental concerns, emphasizing both spiritual elitism and ecological urgency. The tragic end of the Solar Temple was marked by a series of mass suicides and murders that took place between 1994 and 1997, which claimed the lives of over 70 members. These events were reportedly orchestrated by the group's leaders as a means of achieving transcendence. The incidents drew worldwide media attention and highlighted the potential dangers of extremist cults. The Solar Temple's practices included elaborate rituals and ceremonies designed to initiate members into the mysteries of life and death, influenced by broader esoteric traditions. However, the leadership's control over members was strict and absolute, leading to a toxic environment that facilitated the group's tragic end. Investigations into the deaths brought to light the complex financial and social manipulations at play within the group, including significant funds collected from members to support the lavish lifestyles of the leaders. The Solar Temple not only reflects the dark potential of secret societies but also serves as a cautionary tale about the power dynamics and manipulation that can occur within closed, secretive groups. Skull and Bones, a deeper look. Skull and Bones, established in 1832, is not just a secret society at Yale University but a symbol of American elite cohesion. Its mysterious aura is amplified by its rituals and the alleged influence it holds over its members well beyond their college years. The Society's membership process is notably secretive, selecting only a few Yale juniors each year through a ritual known as tapping. These members, often from influential families, gain access to a network of some of the most powerful figures in American society, including presidents, judges, and business leaders. The Tomb, the Society's headquarters, is the central hub for all its activities. It's a Gothic building where members meet and conduct rituals, the specifics of which remain largely hidden from the public eye. This lack of transparency fuels widespread speculation and conspiracy theories about the extent of its influence on American political and economic decisions. Critics often argue that Skull and Bones represents an unhealthy intersection of academia and elite power, promoting a form of nepotism and cronyism that stands at odds with democratic ideals. Proponents, however, view it as merely a networking platform akin to any other college fraternity, albeit one with particularly notable alumni. The enduring interest in Skull and Bones speaks to a broader cultural fascination with secrecy and power, how they interact and influence societal structures. Its legacy is a complex blend of myth and reality, challenging observers to discern where one ends and the other begins.